Let's start this chapter by launching our application again. You will have noticed that when we launch the app, there's a black screen showing before we actually see our splash screen with the background photo and the welcome message. In this video, we're going to fix this and at the same time give the impression of a display animation. So let's add two more files to our assets folder. The first one is our client's logo against a transparent background. And the second one is a blurred version of our background image. In the storyboard, I'm going to add an image view right above my message and adjust its dimensions using the size inspector as follows. For the width, I'm going to choose 210 and for the height, 40. And place it 164 pixels from the top. In this image view, I'm going to display my client's logo image. It gets distorted because the view mode is selected to scale to fill, so instead I'm going to choose aspect fit. Perfect. I'm also going to adjust the layout of my elements and add layout constraints. Great. Let's take a quick peek at how it's all going to look like using our handy preview tool. Alright, so that's the 4-inch size, which applies to the iPhone 5S, SE and iPhone C devices. Let's see on iPhone 6, looking good, and on iPhone 6 Plus size, looking good too. Right, let's now take care of adding a launch image, which will, in terms of user experience, give the impression of an instantaneous app launch and automatically transition with a fade animation to our splash screen. There are two ways we can achieve this. One is by adding launch image assets to our images.exe assets folder. However, if you choose this solution, you'll have to add exactly one static image for each version and screen size of your app. If your app runs on all iPhone and iPad sizes, portrait and landscape, that can mean over a dozen images to make up in your image editor. Very tedious. Another way, and a more efficient way, is to use a storyboard launch screen. This is the solution I prefer, and I'm going to show it to you now. First, we're going to create another storyboard. So let's use the shortcut Command N, and from the user interface section of the list, choose Storyboard, click Next, name it Launch, and click Create. Now my storyboard is empty, there are no scenes yet inside it, so I'm going to add a view controller. And for consistency purposes, I'm also going to disable size classes on this one, like I did on my main storyboard. Now I can add an image view which is going to hold the blurred version of our background. Let's remember to add constraints so that it will always fill the entire space of the screen regardless of the device it appears on. Now let's head on to the General tab of our application summary, and in the App Icons and Launch Images section, where it says Launch Screen File, we can now select our launch.storyboard. Let's build and run in the simulator. Our app starts immediately, but we still have that black screen. So what happened here? Well, let's go back to the launch.storyboard. You added a view controller inside an empty storyboard. So of course, we need to specify one little detail inside the attributes inspector, and that is we need to check the is initial view controller option. And there you get the initial view controller arrow pointing to it. Let's build and run again. Our app starts immediately with the blurred background image, and then it fades into the normal background image with the logo and the welcome message. Before we go, we're going to add one final touch to our welcome screen. You'll notice that our logo and message are displayed in light colors against the darker background. But the status bar is displayed in the default black color. We can't even see it here. We can improve this by displaying a white status bar, which will blend in really nicely with the rest of our screen. We do this in code. So I'm going to close the simulator and head on to the Splash View controller. And underneath View.Load, I'm going to add the following method. Preferred status bar style. And here we simply return light content. Save, build and run again. And there we go. Our splash screen is looking amazing. So with minimal code and by leveraging Xcode's features, we've created an animated introduction to our application that our client is going to love. Now it's time to get serious and add other screens to our app that will display the different content areas for the restaurant.